Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. This is going to be a Rate Your Physiques special, and we're doing it on Zoom just because the Rate Your Physiques episodes are just going to be easier to do on Zoom because we don't have to send the photos over to Sam. It saves Sam a lot of editing. We can just get the photos up and people can see what we're talking about in real time. So that's the plan. We've got quite a lot of people sending them in, so thank you if you did send your physique in. Should we just get cracking, mate?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All good to me. We've got
Okay.
our WhatsApp chat. We've been spamming each other for the last like 15 minutes, being
Yeah.
like sending through the information and stuff. So yeah, should be all good. But we always get quite a good amount of people like ask us stuff whenever we do these. So first one, this guy, mate, he's already asked. He was literally on the last rate your physiques.
I know.
Like we expect him to be like, mate, you've made so much progress. Wow, it's so much better than the
Yeah,
last time we
but
saw
some
you.
people won't have seen it, will they? So this is Liam Davies. So 26, novice bodybuilder, photos 2 weeks out from PCA Southwest. I'm assuming is that now? I'm gonna look at the PCA schedule. I don't want
Well,
him
yeah,
to,
2 weeks out from Southwest.
yeah, but I mean, is it
Yeah,
like
I'm.
hmm, it isn't.
Well, you can't find. Oh, isn't? Bro, you're not doing the right show.
Well, there's
Imagine he's
there's
like, I'm competing. Like, you know.
there's Mercia in
Okay.
what would have been 2 weeks if these photos are from like the other day. Maybe these are old photos.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's assume that they're now.
Yeah. Okay. Has he got any more? Because WhatsApp obviously kills quality a touch because his
Yeah, it's
midsection looks a little bit bad. I
yeah,
don't know if that's quality or if he's fat still. He looks pretty lean. I mean, he looks good.
yeah. I think the lighting's not doing him any justice here as well. Like it's not bad lighting, but obviously it's quite bright, so obviously it does wash you out a little bit. That's a bit better.
That looks, yeah, that actually you can see a little bit more detail there.
I'd say for 2 weeks out, I don't think he'd look massively out of shape on stage. I think he'd look good, but if you stand next to someone who's inside out, you would look a little bit soft.
Yeah, I agree. He's got a good amount of muscle. And like, for example, look at his glutes there. Like his
Yeah,
glutes
it
and
looked
his
really
lower
good.
leg. Like wait, there's a good amount of detail there. Like his glutes are the thing is like you look at that and it's like when you see glute lines, you see hamstring detail. I think it's very easy to be like, I'm ready. But then like if he was to look at his midsection and even if he was to look at his hamstrings and glutes,
Yeah, look at
there
the
is still
side
more
leg.
fat. Yeah, definitely. I
There's
think
not
like if
loads
anything,
more.
it's more apparent. No, no, no. I think from the front and from the back, he actually looks pretty much like pretty close. I think from the side, he could be a bit better. But at the same time, like in a PCA lineup, if it's judging off the fucking open bodybuilding that we saw on the weekend, congrats, mate. You've probably won. But if you're looking
Yeah,
upon it as
mate,
like actually, let's say,
you've been the leanest PCA
yeah,
bodybuilder
you,
like this year. Well, Tom was lean.
yeah, you, yeah, yeah. Other than Tom, probably the leanest bodybuilder that stepped on stage in a PCA stage so far. But the thing is if this was going to be a competitive look come finals, and the standards pretty high, I'd imagine he'd need to be a fair bit sharper. Like he's definitely not out of shape, but I think he could be 5, 10 pounds probably. I'd say 10 pounds plus to be fair. Like when it comes to being truly inside out, but then also that isn't bodybuilding, but PCA do like conditions. So
I've got
yeah, I
the
think for a
PCA.
qualifier,
Sorry, I was
good.
just going to say I've got the PCA show calendar up. So this is the old one that I had. That's why I was looking at it. Like I don't think there is. But no, he's yeah. So Southwest 20th of April. So that's literally not this weekend, next weekend. Um, yeah, South in Swindon.
Okay.
But there is still shows like we were saying. There's pretty much a show like every single weekend.
Yeah.
We've got all the review.
Yeah.
We'll have to
PCA.
review. We'll review his physique when the show reels come out.
Yeah.
When we
We'll
do
review
the
how
show
it looks.
review,
Yeah.
that'll
And
be
we'll
good.
look at the photos that you upload.
I was gonna say for this episode,
Mhm.
like it'd be pretty cool to do just people prepping. Um, because like especially for like upcoming shows, because then it'd be like we can go through their physique, like how they are now, and then like see how they look on stage. And obviously we've already seen them.
What
But
do you
yeah,
reckon he need to improve muscularity wise in his off
um,
season?
I think how he's hitting this pose doesn't do him much justice. Like this makes him look like he's not got much of a chest. His
Yeah.
arms don't look great here. But then if you look at like the side shots, like the side chest here, I don't think you'd say that his arms look weak. Chest and triceps do look a little bit lagging. His rear delts are good.
Yeah, I agree. I think Yeah, his delts are really dominant.
His back shots are really
It's one of
nice.
those where it wouldn't surprise me if he's very delt dominant when it comes to pressing.
Yeah,
And that's
you can
like
see it.
probably why his delts are like, yeah, his delts are really good. Like he looks great. He's just it's one of those where like for a qualifying show he'll be sound, but if he's doing like other shows, PCA Universe, something like that, then I'd imagine he'd need to get a little bit sharper. But into his off season, a lot of chest training.
Chest
Like
side delts on this
to be
pose,
fair,
but
yeah, like I was looking at that front lat. Like, that looks like he could have just a bit more meat
his
across that
his
top
lats
diamond.
look really
Like
good.
definitely.
He's got good shape. He needs more through the arms,
Yeah,
delt, chest. That's what I'd be prioritizing. Right.
yeah, definitely.
are we doing like ratings as in like 6 out of 10, 7 out? I don't think we need to do that.
Nah, I think
I
like because
think
it,
just go
it just
through
gets a bit
like
like it's hard.
what to work on, what we think, and if they're in a prep, where we think they're at.
Okay, right. We'll go for another one. Predicted place for next weekend. Where do you reckon?
I'm gonna say he'll win.
Okay. I think that's a good. I don't think that's a bad shout at all. I think he'll definitely. I think he'd imagine, unless the standard's ridiculous, he'll get a top three. Like I reckon, judging off what we've seen, I think you'll win. So you better win
Right.
now, bro. If you don't,
Next
you let us
one
down.
is, I think if it's my client, I won't say anything. If it's your client, you won't say anything because we
Thank,
talked.
thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Binning is like 9 out of 10, winning every
No, but
show.
we talk to them every week. So
Yeah.
there's no point in me saying what I think about Noah's physique when I talk to him every week. So right, here's a big fat
Mate.
ginger bloke.
Wait, go on the next one, mate. I thought it was Ron Burgundy. Are you
No,
sure this is?
you mean Ron Weasley?
No, no, no. I thought Ron Burgundy from fucking Anchorman, mate.
What, you
With
think he looks like
it
Anchorman?
wasn't Ron.
If his hair was
No, you
darker,
know
yeah.
the other one. Yeah, it's just that for some, it's the mustache as well. Like it just looks like he's out of
I
Anchorman.
love Ron
So yeah,
Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy, good. Yeah, you're a big fan of that, aren't you?
Yeah.
He's made a good amount of progress considering he didn't really bodybuild too much when he was away, and he's going away again in September, so it doesn't really matter. Like, let's be real, Noah. You're just gonna go away.
Nah,
You're
he's
gonna
going to be better
fucking
this
probably not
time
eat too much.
because he's found a decent gym and stuff. Last time he was doing split squats on park benches. And he sent me a voice and he was like, "So I just did this," and like he just said it flippantly, like it was fine. I was like, "Mate, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you doing
What are you
split
doing?
squats on park benches?" Like he couldn't get in a
No, no, no.
gym.
Come on, I want to know.
He couldn't get into a gym.
So he
Like,
did legs on top.
well, yeah, there was one session like where he did. He sent me a voice and he was like, "Yeah, so like training's not been great, but I did some legs and I was doing like lunges on a park bench and things like that." And I was like, "No, like that's not okay. What are you doing?" And now I just take the piss out of him. Like most check-ins, I'll mention it.
what was his training like when was he training at all when he was
Yeah, yeah, he was
at
training, but
peak career? Was it
it wasn't that regimented. He struggled to get in a gym and he couldn't film because they're a bit awkward about filming. So like, obviously I couldn't keep up to date with his training as much. He wasn't posting it as much, stuff like that. But he was training, but obviously it wasn't the level that it needed to be.
yeah. No, okay, fair enough. Well, to be fair, I think Noah judging off like it's actually quite funny. When he got lean last time, his quads were really good. But like when he's in an off season, his quads don't look the best because he's probably brought up other areas. I think he's made a good amount of progress considering where like how things have been because it's definitely not been optimal relating to going away and stuff like that. I don't. He knows himself it's not going to be ideal. Even if he goes away this year, if he's better, it's still not going to be ideal relative to his physique development goals. That's going to be the case until he's probably in a groove where it's like again, it's not the same sort of life. It's a different sort of life. But at the same time, if that's what he wants to do, then fair enough. And yeah, I mean, like he's in that sort of ballpark of like he was okay to slightly like mid-tier teen, and he'll be probably like roughly the same in the juniors. I don't think he's not a genetic freak, he knows that. And but I don't think he's going to be a case where like I wouldn't if he was prepping, I wouldn't be like, oh, you're going to win a show. Like let's be real. I don't think that's going to be the case. But at the same time, he'll look good. He'll look good relative to how things are, and he enjoys the process. So who am I to judge? You know?
Okay, move
Am I
on.
fair in saying that?
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna comment. No, I'm not
what
gonna comment on my
you're
clients. If I massively
not
disagree
going
with
to say.
something, no, if I massively disagree with something, I'll say. But also I think
Do you
like
agree with what I said?
yeah, no one knows like he's not the goal. We're not saying like we're gonna fucking win everything. Like that's the mindset you need to have. Like he's gonna make sure that he's massively improved from last time. He wants to do classic as well because he enjoys classic
What
posing.
is
And
that?
I think it suits him nicely with his rib cage and like he's like got quite a good classic flow. He's got quite a decent chest. Like he's decent. He'll be decent for classic. But like you say, he's not a genetic freak. He's not going to be turning up, pulling up any trees and being like, "Oh my God, who's that?" Like, but he'll be good and he'll be a lot better than he was as a teen, which is the most important thing, just improving from his last showing. So this is another of my clients, Matt Kovax. He was coached by Josh Jenkins, Reese's assistant coach, and he's like
Yeah.
made ridiculous progress in the last I think it's been like 4 months that I've coached him. Um, so yeah,
Fucked his
I'll flick
diet
through,
up though
mate.
within a month.
Huh?
Fucked his reverse diet. Didn't he? Fucked his reverse diet after a month of you coaching him, so not the best there.
After a month of me coaching him.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't know if you were coaching him. He told me that he fucked his reverse up. He was
No,
like,
that
"Oh,
was
I ate
after
too
he
much.
left
Put on weight."
Josh.
Oh, was that so? What did was he dieting with Josh and then he started with you and
Mate,
he
I've
was a
coached
bit
him
sort
like
of
3 months and he looks like a different person. Go on, carry on. I'll flick through, but I'm gonna get his other photos up.
okay, cool. Um, to be fair, I had no idea what he looked like before, so I've only ever seen. I saw his initial startup pics when he signed up with Josh, and this was like last year. I think he's competing next year, if I'm not mistaken. Ben?
Yeah, he'll be a teen for the early shows next year.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think he looks good. I think he's good for a team. I don't think he's an absolute freak for a team, but at the same time, if he's responding really well and he's let's say he's growing at a good rate, then like give him a year of this growth. That being said, it's April, we're 4 months into the year. If he's starting prep, let's say in 7 months, I don't think he's going to be, oh my God, what the fuck? But then at the same time, not many teams are. And I think he'll be very, very good for someone who's pretty decent when it comes to already having a good amount of muscle for what, is he 18 or is he 19 now? I'm not, again, I'm guessing either 18 or
He's
19.
yeah, he's 19.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'd have to double check. But I know that he can do the teens next year, early stages. So this
Yeah.
is when he started.
Okay.
And this
Yeah, he
is
looks a lot better
literally
now, to
the
be fair.
2nd of
Also,
January.
that is shit. Yeah. 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 He's come a long way then. Yeah. He looks good.
Right.
He looks a lot better then. Clearly, fucking hell, Matt, you really did fuck your reverse diet up because he spoke to me. He was like, "Oh, I just ate loads, but put
Yeah.
on weight too quickly."
I
But
remember
he
I
must
said
have
to him
told me
like
like
when he first
5 or 6 times.
started, go on.
Like, he told me, he literally was like, "I fucked my diet up," and I was like, "Okay," and he was like, "Yeah, I proper fucked it, ate too much, put this," and I was like, "Okay," and he was like, "Yeah, I ate too much, bro," and I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
I'm getting that gist."
that was when he was like obviously he left Josh, he was on his own, and then he messaged me like around over Christmas
Yeah.
time. Obviously, then started January. But like I remember, I said to him when he was like thinking about starting, I was like, "Mate, you've got a hell of a lot of potential." So I went onto his Instagram and I'd seen that he was coached by Josh, and I'd seen that like this wasn't an accurate representation of his physique. Like he looked shit, and he knows that. Like I said to him, "You have got a hell of a lot of potential. You just need to actually get back into a routine, like improve your training, make sure you're being more regimented." Like, and he's absolutely nailed it. Like he does, he looks really, really good now. Like he's still got loads of room to progress, obviously, and like we're still very early stages of this phase. But yeah, he's in a good spot, and he's making like really good progress. He's nailing everything. So yeah, I'm very happy with where he's at.
Yeah, no, that's all good. That's positive.
Okay,
Back to WhatsApp.
So the next one is guess what? Another of my clients. This
Mate, your
is
clients they want approval from you, bro. I only
I
had
know.
like two of
No,
my
they want
clients
approval
message me
from
because they
you.
were probably just yeah,
To be
okay,
fair, it's
that's
probably
what it
because
is.
every
Who's
week I'm
this?
just like every week when it comes to like their feedback, I'm not like over analyzing their
Mate,
physique.
you're not going, bro. Oh my god, this is sick,
That's it.
man.
That's
You
what I
look
should be doing.
class.
I
Fucking
forget. I'm
hell.
supposed to be a
Wow,
cheerleader.
bro. This is stupid, man. What the fuck? You're blowing up, dog. That's what
Every
every
week.
coach does, isn't it?
Whoa. So this
Oh,
is Mikey.
mate.
This is Mikey, right?
Okay.
I've only coached him for a couple of weeks. He messaged me because he wants to do. So he did the WMBF first timers last year.
Mhm.
That was obviously the show that Josh won the overall. So he wants to look
Oh,
like
he's this
Josh.
guy. Yeah,
No, he's
yeah.
well. I mean, I
How
said to
old
you
is he?
before that I've had quite a few people who have messaged me from that show and like signed up from that show. Just obviously because like it was pretty ridiculous. Josh beating like a lot of the guys in the overall. But yeah,
How old is
I'm going to the last message just because I've written it down what he said. So for the podcast, hopefully we've got you on, mate. WMBF Junior first timers. So that's what he did last year. This was 7 days out from last year. Excited to smash the pass look this year. Goals are to win a show, reverse properly, and enjoy the prep as much as possible. So I'll flick through these, have a look, and then what I'll also do is I'll bring up some of his more recent photos. Like I said, I've only just started coaching him, but this is like obviously like what a week out last year, so July last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. It looks decent. Got a bigger thigh gap than you on stage, which I never thought I'd
His
see.
quads are
Or
really
like
good
just
though.
judging. Yeah, his quads are good, but like he's just got no adductor by the looks of things. But I think
No.
that's probably posing. I don't know. Like, his quads are good, but from the rear, like a significant thigh gap, and his glutes are like very underdeveloped. But overall, just like it's one of those sort of things where it's like he's in all right condition, especially for a team, but he just needs a lot more fucking muscle. And like it's boring, but it's like you literally just need to grow. Like there shouldn't be a thought of even stage. And obviously, I know you would have said, "Oh, we'll get you on stage this year," but
No, he wanted
I
to.
think
That's why
someone like that,
he signed up and he's
yeah,
like, I want to do this show. I'm not going to stop him.
yeah.
These
What?
are
So what?
the
No. So what shows he doing? Is he competing again this
Yeah, so last year he did the first timers, which was obviously the middle of the year. This year he's doing the supernaturals, which is
year?
the end of the year.
Okay, I'd still say, to be fair, like just judging off how he looks and how he could be, he needs more time. Like I would be saying, unless there's a reason for him to be rushing, like if it's his last year as a junior or last year as whatever, then fair enough. But like he'll be in better shape, he'll be in better condition. He will have improved, let's say some level of improvements. But I wouldn't look at him and say a year, like take a year. I wouldn't be like, oh, compete 1 year and then do late next year, judging off how he looked at his last show. I think that's if anything, it'll just get to a point where he'll be improved, but I think bodybuilding should be a case of like actually coming back and being like, wow, fuck. Where, in my opinion, again, he's going to be better, but better enough to see wicked improvements, especially considering he'll probably still will need more muscle. Is that counterintuitive? Maybe so. But
I think as
again,
a
if he wants to do
junior,
a show,
like I get why people maybe want to compete if they feel like they didn't do their best and he wasn't happy with
yeah,
how
if there's
like
like
his peak when
if
I
there's still
don't
like
think
an
he was
itch to
too happy.
scratch,
But
yeah,
I it's
I
one of
get
those
that.
like Saeed. He's like the guy that was fat. You remember when I said he was fat on stage, and I've told him
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
really fat on stage. Like
yeah.
I was happy for him to compete this year because he didn't get anywhere near stage condition. Mikey did.
No,
Mikey
no,
got a
no.
lot closer and he looked really good. But like Mikey could have won this if his posing was a bit better,
Mm.
if he was a bit sharper. Like he said, like he wasn't happy with how his peak went. I think probably didn't even need to peak, to be honest. I think probably he could have pushed the guy that won, definitely, if he'd have been a little bit better. So I do get that when it's like I want to compete again because I want to like prove that I could have been better than that.
Yeah, mm,
But like you said,
yeah.
like in order
No,
to be a
I agree
lot
with you.
better, you need more time and more muscle. But that'll be the plan after this year. But he's looking really good.
Yeah. No, that's good. And then what he'll do is he'll get second to a guy who's a genetic freak, and then he'll message their coach and be like, "Hey, mate, can I
He
sign up
was
with you?"
so good.
Yeah, and he'll just
Um,
keep doing it until he finds somebody
he said that
who gets him.
the top two from that show are competing again apparently. And I said he can beat them. Like they're not like ridiculously good.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, so
Right, who's
this is
next?
the first one that's not well, not the first one. We had Liam at the start. So this is Logan, I think. I feel like he sent them to me. He might have sent them to you as well.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, he sent me them in the DMs.
Oh, just while we're here,
So it's
quickly.
just.
Um, you know Logan
Mhm.
Thompson that we spoke about the GCB Classic, or the Granite Xhaka Classic. You know the guy that came second to Lewis
Yeah,
Sutherland, and we were like, oh, I think he's
yeah,
natty.
yeah.
We said him and Connor, we think they're natty.
Hmm.
Yeah, he messaged me. He said, "Sorry to
Yeah, yeah.
disappoint. Sorry to disappoint. I'm not natty. Guess it's time to up the dose."
What the
Um,
fuck?
I just
Yeah,
messaged
bro,
back
you look fucking
saying,
natty as anything, man.
"I said, don't apologize, mate. Sorry for assuming." But then, to be fair, I went on his page, and he doesn't actually look natty on his page, but he looked natty on stage from the photos we saw.
Concerning
That's
that. He needs to compete again. Hire us and we'll get you on stage next year.
so this guy. This is another Logan. That's what made me think about it. So this is Logan
Okay.
O'Malley or Logan Fit. So you put rate my
Okay.
physique 5'11", 80 kilos, hoping to compete 2025, so next year, 2 years into training.
Good amount of muscle for 2 years into training.
He's not put his age. Let me go onto his Instagram.
That
Yeah,
beard.
He's not put his age.
Easily 20.
I'm going to assume
No, I
that
don't know.
he's a junior.
Early 20s? Yeah, I'd say like early 20s, 21, 22, 23.
Let's imagine he's a junior for next year. I think as a junior next year, he can be good. I think he can be pushing for like placings at a qualifier kind of standard. Um,
Yeah,
but there's some fucking freaky juniors out there. But for 2 years
yeah,
into training, like this is a really good physique, good amount of muscle. I always find like people who are only a couple of years into training, and especially guys, like the glutes and the hamstrings are always weak
yeah.
because you don't start training wanting to grow your glutes and your hamstrings. Like it's probably if you were to ask any guy in a gym, like let's say I walked into Pure Gym now and I said like what body part are you trying to grow the most or what's your most desirable body part to grow? None of them will say
Nice breath.
hamstrings. Yeah, none of them would say glutes or
Yeah.
hamstrings. Like everyone would say chest or back or arms. Like so it's quite common. And I say this to loads of new clients, like loads of new male clients, especially younger guys. It's like your glutes and your hamstrings are really weak because they just
Yeah.
don't want. They're
We
not bothered
said,
about training them.
we said for first timers, that's like the one area that's like always underdeveloped, like that
It's
posterior
also
chain. Like,
yeah, it's the hardest to get in as well. So it like even looks even weaker when you don't get it all the way there.
yeah, I'd say for this guy, like I think you got the nail on the head. Like he's got a good foundation, 2 years into training, but like realistically, if there is, let's say for example, he's 20, yeah, he doesn't look it, but let's say he is, or he's in the open classes. Like if he's in the open classes, bro, you need way more than next year. Like you need longer. And like 2 years consistent training is in the grand scheme of things, competing wise, next to nothing.
Nothing,
Like
yeah.
take your time. Like again, yeah. Like for me, it was 9 years, 9 years of training, and I was like on it from. Like I never really like fucked around in my teens. I was always training. I was training too much, and I think nowadays it's like, oh, I'm training. I need to compete. When in reality, it should really be a case of like, oh, I'm training. I love this. I'm probably one of the best or biggest dudes in the gym. People then like recognize me as someone who takes it serious. Then I'm going to hire a coach, and then after, before you know it, you're like, oh, I've been training for 6, 7 years
You
at this
know what
point,
though? Like
and
nowadays, like everybody assumes it's the thing to do. So like, I remember when I was training at Hollywell at uni, like I had quite a few people say like, "Oh mate, you should compete. Like you look really good." And I was like, "What? Like no chance. Like
no,
I don't want to
yeah,
compete." Like that's how I thought. But now, like I guarantee, like that was quite rare. Like they weren't saying that to everybody. Like I know that sounds like I'm being arrogant, but they weren't. Like it was because I was really consistent. I'd train like twice a day. Like they knew I was like really on it.
mm,
They were like, "Oh, are you competing or thinking about it?" Whereas now, like anybody who's got a fitness account on Instagram, it's like, "Oh, you must be competing." You know what I mean? It's like everybody. Like this is
yeah.
before I even
Like
was posting on
prep
Instagram. Like
2025.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I used to. Well, I did get the same. It'd be, when are you competing? It's like, yeah, nah, in the future, sometime if I want to. But like now, it's like if you even go to the gym and you take it serious and you have a coach, it's like prepping at this time,
got to be
And I honestly feel like, in a sad reality, like this isn't anything personal to this dude, but like it will just result in people falling out because they end up doing something. They dive straight in. They end up not really enjoying the process. Their training goes to shit. They feel like shit, and then they're like, "Oh, bodybuilding isn't for me." When in reality, it's just because you rushed in. Like
yeah.
again, this isn't this guy, but give yourself
No,
time. Like
people
2 years
also
consistent
like
training.
people dictate their enjoyment from the result. So like if let's say your
Yeah,
first season you don't place, oh bodybuilding shit anyway, it's not for me. Like no, it's just you went into it a bit early and it's hard and you didn't get the result that you wanted. That doesn't mean it's not for you.
yeah,
Like but yeah, like you say, this is nothing to do with Logan. Which just things that have come to our head. But yeah, like we've kind of
yeah.
given a decent review there, I think, for Logan. So on to the next one. So Maglow Fitness. So he sent them to me as well. I know these ones that you added in. So this guy is coached by Jack Eagles.
Who?
Uh, Jack Eagles, Jeagles.
Uh, who's that?
I don't know. Yeah, never heard of him.
Yeah,
His name
yeah,
is
never heard of him.
so this guy's name is
Small.
Chester Maglow.
Okay,
Did
that's
he
a
put
hell of a name.
so 21 weeks out from first classic show, assisted 85 kilos, coached
His
by
sister, mate, his assistant, he's got a UKDFBA men's physique profile picture.
yeah,
What?
he must have recently
God.
changed. He must have been forced
All,
into it by
all
Jack.
these. Yeah, or he did it a week out.
Fucking hell, you can
Hey,
tell he's
man.
assisted. It's a big
Yeah.
lump.
Jack.
I don't that's a
There he
compliment.
is.
Like I'm saying you look big. You've got a good amount of muscle.
And for that, that's what He's trying to say it in the nicest way possible. You spilled,
No,
bro.
no, I don't think
No, he
he's
looks
well.
good. He looks good.
He's relatively soft, but for what did he say?
The
20,
funny thing is, mate, 21
21
for
weeks
21, he's
out.
got a lot of muscle.
No,
Yeah,
21
it was
weeks
good in his
out.
profile picture. Oh, he's 21. He's not 21. Oh, fuck. 21 weeks out. Fair enough.
Doesn't say how
Um,
old he is.
Legs do look very slightly undersized slash poor posing. Like the
Yeah,
the rear shot, the leg is horrendous, mate. You
don't
need
want
to
to
sort
see
that out. Like,
this gap. Get
yeah,
that
like
gap
the
closed.
you can tell you've done men's physique just off musculature, but they're not only that, but like posing. Like your quads are okay, but you could definitely be posing them better. And then more so, like I said, in the rear shot, your legs look pretty poor from the back, mate. But again, that will be posing.
Yeah, it's just that is
And a
just
bit of
massively
development, but
posing. Get Jack to sort out your posing, mate. Tell him to stop pissing about doing his
yeah.
own posing reels and tell you how to pose.
Yeah. Actually help his clients, that'd be good. But yeah, good amount of muscle. No idea if you're a junior, no idea like what show you're gonna be doing. I'm guessing, did he say what classes he said like junior bodybuilding? Or was it
He's doing classic.
okay, classic? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Again, posing, get practicing, bro. But yeah, good amount of muscle, looks sound, looks good. 21 weeks is plenty of time. Like you are pretty soft, but like you're not to the point where you don't have 20 weeks to pull it in. If it was like 14 weeks, I'd be like, "Ugh, step on the gas, bro. You might struggle, but 20
Yeah,
weeks,
I'd
bro, you'll
say
be absolutely.
he is like he's fine for where he's at, but like you need to push on for probably the next like
Yeah, he's a legit 20 weeks out, which is not rare, but like I probably would have wanted a little bit of a tighter starting point.
yeah.
But if it's his first rodeo with assistants, like let's say he competed last year or the year before, natty, and then he's kind of gone into a lengthy push up, being a bit softer probably isn't a bad idea, especially if it's your first year or two on PEDs. Like I don't think it's a bad idea at all. So yeah, not a bad spot to be in, just a case of like I'd probably want to be pretty aggressive over the next like 6 to 8 weeks. So when it gets to 10 weeks out, you're like, let's say actually a bit ahead. So let's say when you're 14 weeks out, you look potentially like 10 weeks out. So basically, step on the gas, get started,
So
don't be
I've
delaying.
just sorry, I've been scrolling through his Instagram to try and find what he did when he did physique. So he did junior men's physique end of
Okay.
2022. So I imagine he's not in the juniors anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or he's at the height,
That's
maybe he's right at the top end of the juniors potentially.
well, there's no junior classic, is there? Anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, true. This is Logan, who we've
Right,
already
next one.
done. Okay, so this is Matthew. I think his name is Matthew McMillan. I'm going to scroll to the end because I know I've got the comments at the end.
I feel like
Uh,
I've seen this dude before.
yeah, he's
Yeah, what
coached
gym did
by
he train out
Josh.
of?
Coached by Josh Croggan. I think he trained out of the
Yes,
Pro Life gym
Pro
where
Life.
Josh
Yeah,
and
I
everyone does.
saw that. I saw the dude. I jumped in with him on RDLs, and like he basically said to me afterwards, he was like, "Oh, I really like your training stuff." Like after I'd done my set, and I was like, "Oh, cheers, mate, thanks for that." And yeah, he was a really nice dude. Look good, train well. I said to him on his RDL, he needs to actually brace a little bit better, and he like try. I said to him, just do this a little bit differently, and he did it. And he's like, "Oh, it feels way better." So, mate, you need to tell Josh form feedback shite because his RDLs were horrendous. Like his first set wasn't the best. So
So he's
yeah,
put 5 foot
that's that.
10, 87 kilos, Josh Croggan coach. Junior first timer, around 19 weeks out, no expectations on placements, just want to bring my best look possible. Well, you're going to lose with that mindset, mate. You have to
Yeah,
have
man.
the mindset you're going to win every single show, otherwise you lose. You have to speak it into existence.
Oh yeah. Visualize it. Go to bed every night thinking about that first place trophy and the winner, the guy that can't RDL until he got some form feedback off recent person. His RDLs are actually pretty good. They just he could have braced a bit better. But yeah, looks good to be fair. Like, did he say he's a junior? Is he a junior? Or is he a
Yeah,
teen?
he's a junior.
Yeah, junior. Yeah, he's got a good amount of muscle. Quads look good. Shape's good. Like I wouldn't really be going in like, especially with his foundation. And if he's peeled, he'll look good. Like I wouldn't be going in saying no expectations. I'd be saying like he'd be looking at a placing like top five, top three. Like it depends on the lineup, but I wouldn't be looking at him saying he's undersized massively or he's structurally poor. Like I think he looks
Just
pretty damn
like
good. To be fair.
compared to the top juniors,
Yeah,
he
he's not
falls
going to be out.
short. He's in that like second tier.
Yeah,
He's like a second tier
yeah,
decent junior. You know, you've got the top tier where it's like, what the
yeah,
fuck? You got like those ridiculous juniors.
yeah. You've got like
Then you've
elite
got like
genetics. Yeah,
yeah, then you've got like
normal genetics, but a good amount.
pretty good ones. Matthew would be in that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
So
for
fingers
19
crossed,
weeks
mate. No
out.
fruit.
Well, he's doing BMBF. He messaged me after saying like just to like I forgot I'm doing
Oh, right,
BMBF
bro.
I think he's doing BMBF
That's it.
Manchester and BMBF Scotland. So yeah, I don't know why you're doing that,
Best of
mate.
luck placing, yeah. Best of luck placing eighth to seven black guys that no one's heard of, but they're just fucking stacked and like
They're
look
all on gear.
enhanced. Well done, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all on gear actually. You just don't know them. They don't get drug tested. Nothing against the BMBF, just that's that. So yeah, best of luck on that eighth place out of eight, buddy. To
But no,
people that no one
to be
knows.
fair, he does look good. I think what he says he's 5'10". He looks like he's quite for 5'10", like when some people just look taller than they are because their
Yeah.
limbs are maybe like, especially like their arms. When I see someone whose arms are maybe a little bit lagging, I always think that they look taller than they are. But he's not. Like 5'10" is not tall. I'm 5'10". Um,
You're
I,
really sure.
I'm really, really short, yeah. So I think arms
Or
would
the
be a bit
or
of
the tall
a
skinny guy?
yeah, I'm the tall skinny guy in
Yeah,
America. Arms would
tall
be a
skinny guy.
priority. Delts look good, quads look good. His back shots are pretty good. I'd say, yeah, your arms would be a priority for like the long-term future. Like he's sitting into this quite nicely. His side legs looks pretty good, but it's hard to tell. It'd be good to do this again in like a couple months and see how he's looking when he's like what, like 10 weeks out, let's say.
Yeah,
Right. Next one.
definitely.
This was one that you sent in, mate.
Yeah. I put his
Valario.
name in there because Valario Gillon, I think.
Good name.
Gillon?
Valario
Bro's,
Giglions.
yeah. Bro's peeled, isn't he? The side leg's ridiculous. Very, very lean.
Yeah, he's one of those where it's like, unless you're stepping on stage very soon, please eat.
Yeah. Like no one should be this lean
Do
like
you
year
remember?
round. It's not going to be ideal.
Do you remember that client I had, that French client called Hugo, who was just absolutely healed, like
Yes, I
ridiculous.
do. Yeah, I do remember.
And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
mate, like eat, please, like you need to gain weight. And he was just like, he just couldn't gain weight, or he wouldn't. He just wanted to stay shredded.
yeah,
He messaged me not long ago. He competed. I think he came like second. He looked really good, but he looked the same. Like he's not. He didn't look like he's built any muscle. He
yeah,
just looked the same.
yeah,
Did this guy send any
yeah. Some
context?
people. Literally, that was it. He just put that in the question box. Nothing else. So
I got a couple
no
that were just
idea.
one photo and no context, so I didn't send them.
I got one that was like a check-in video, but it wouldn't load, and I was just like, and he was like, I
I
could just
got
see his boxes. Like,
I got a
yeah,
video. Right, this next one
yeah.
is
I've got
I think his name's Dom. Um, just read that out, mate.
63 kg, 5'9", been training for 2 years, started the year at 69 kilos. So he's what, 6 kilos down, and was in a deficit for the first 13 weeks. Aim to now is push weight up to 70 kg by the end of the year, gaining slowly while not putting on too much fat in the process. Well, bro, you're pretty fucking lean and you need a lot of size. And I really wouldn't be scared if you started at 69 kg. I really wouldn't be saying you only need to be putting on 1 kilo, like net positive in the whole year. Judging off, you probably weren't that fat when you started. Like you're in a
He
good spot here.
he
Yeah,
did
you don't
send
want
me he sent me the photos at 69 kilos, but I didn't send them in. And even then, like
to.
he's not you wouldn't say he's fat. Like he's got visible like outline of his abs. Like he's
Yeah.
still in decent nick. Like there's a lot of room. I think it's a good decision that he pulled back because he didn't look great and he looks better now. But there's so much room to push up. Like if that's how he looked at, did he say it was yeah, 69 kilos, came back down to 63. I'd be looking at like pushing to 75 before pulling back again.
I'd say 100%, yeah, 75. I'd be like 12, 13, 14 kilos on this. Like, that's doable. And like, again, don't be looking at goal weights at the end of the year. Just get training into a good groove. It wouldn't surprise me if he was to be back up at 65, 66, and then the rate again gets slower. And then, like, let's say he gets to 70, you could easily go from 70 to 75 in a year, and
Yeah,
you'd probably be
there's
absolutely fine.
so much
Saying
room
spending
to push
time
up.
in a cell.
So much
Yeah,
room. This is
exactly.
exactly
So,
what we spoke about with the glutes and the hamstrings,
yeah,
especially hamstrings. I feel like a lot of guys like glutes can because often you'll store more fat at your glutes anyway, but also like if you're let's say training legs, when you start training, a lot of people will just do squats and leg presses. Your glutes are going to grow as well, but your
yeah,
hamstrings probably not. Like I do feel like hamstrings are massively neglected. So I would really be prioritizing those. And just to be fair, like his back looks decent, but just needs more muscle. Like again, you a lot of detail, you're lean, but you just need a lot more muscle everywhere. But I'd be putting a bit more focus through the posterior. Right, on
yeah.
to the next individual. I believe this is your client, mate.
so I'm not allowed to say anything.
Not allowed to say anything. No. What's his name? Actually, you're not.
Alexandro. Yeah, not allowed to say anything. Alessandro, I'll give a bit of background. Starting prep in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. September shows, so like looking at pretty much like a 20-week prep. First timer, but he's not doing a first timer show because I think for a junior, I think I said to him like first timer shows, I don't want to say would be too easy. But I had a few of the first timers, and I was like, I'll get you doing an open show. Like realistically, I want to see how he looks. Like he doesn't really have too much aspiration to be in the juniors more than he needs to be. Like so it'll be a case of just getting his feet wet, seeing how he does and stuff like that. And then competing against the big boys, that's really going to be the case. So yeah, 22, 21, 22 years of age, if I'm not mistaken. So he's pretty young. I think he's still got one more year left in the juniors, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, currently weighing at 230 at like fucking 5'6", I think. So like 5'6", 5'7". He's not the tallest. So that's that. I'm gonna shut up.
So I would say like these photos don't do him justice, to be honest. Like he definitely looks better than this. He
Yeah,
looks better in person. I think like, and again, I never want to like, I don't ever want to sound harsh, but I think you're probably making out he's way better than he is. Like he's very, very good. He is really good, but I don't think he's gonna turn up to like you said. If he just does a normal junior show, let's say, and it's not a first timers, he'll be very good as a junior. He'd like if you look at the junior first timer standard, he'd be
yeah,
absolutely sound. He'd be right up there. But if you look at the
yeah.
junior standard, just in a normal PCA show, a good PCA show, I don't think he'd be a freak where you go, oh my god, he'd be up there. He'd be in the top sort of, I'd say top five, top six. It depends on the standard, but I don't think he's good enough to be like, oh mate, you're too good to even go into juniors. Go straight into open. Like
No, 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 no. No, I didn't mean it in that way. It was more so where his goals are long term. And realistically, if you
I
were to
thought he
look at
wanted to be
PCA
a junior
finals,
long
like,
term. Thought it'd be a long term junior.
oh yeah, long term junior, just keep competing in the juniors. Just say, I'm never aging, bro. Just keep entering the juniors.
10
Like I
years
say,
later,
you're not
I want
allowed
to
to
be a
be a
junior.
junior.
Sorry, mate,
You're
you're not a junior,
you're
but I want to be.
37, bro. You're
My goals are in the
37, bro.
juniors.
Like,
I only have goals for
yeah,
junior.
age is just a number, bro. Who's to say I'm not a junior?
Yeah.
No, mate. I'm not saying like he's fucking good enough to be in the open already, or like. But I think realistically, within a year or so, especially with how he's responding, like he's grown a hell of a lot. And also, if you were to look at, let's say, the people that won, let's say last year, you got that Kieran Joseph, Scottish guy, got second. I can't remember who won. He flew in for the PCA finals, and then Joe Gillon got third. Alessandro beats them all, like straight up. Like he
You
does
don't
pretty
know that
convincingly. So
because he has to
he
get in
beats Joe
condition.
Gillon and he
Mate,
beats
you
Joe
don't know
Gillon
that.
and
He has to get
no,
in
mate. Joe,
condition.
he beat if he's in condition,
Yeah,
he
exactly. But
beats
you
them all.
say that
Like,
as if it's like everybody gets into condition. The reason that Joe Gillen plays so high is because people weren't in condition and he was. So it's not as easy as like, oh,
yeah,
he beat
no,
Joe
I'm,
Gillen. Like you have to be in shape. Like Joe Gillen deserved that placing, even though those guys way bigger than him because he was absolutely peeled,
yeah,
and
yeah,
not many people can get into that kind of
yeah.
condition. So yeah, he's
Oh no,
got
no,
a
no.
lot
I'm
more
not saying
muscle
that.
than
I'm
who's
not
Joe
saying that's the
Gillen?
case, but
Who's Joe Gillen anyway? It's Jay Freaky one.
oh, Jay Freaky one, Jay Freaky one. No,
Anyway,
I
let me
more mean it
actually
in the way
comment
of
on let me comment
he
on
has to be
Alessandro's
saying if
physique.
he's in shape. If he's
Yeah,
in
if he's in
shape, he
shape.
beats them all.
His posing needs to be
Yeah,
better. Definitely. He needs to
definitely.
control his midsection on this side chest. He needs to either pose his hamstrings a lot better or actually like focus on them because they do look weak here. I know he's got good quads. Obviously, they look better when
Yeah,
they're leaner, but his quads in person are good. But yeah, they never look great in like peak off season when you've not got much detail in them. But they'll look a lot bigger as he gets leaner. His back shot, his waist obviously looks relatively big, but that's just because of the body fat that he's holding. That'll look a lot better as he gets leaner. I think he could probably pose this a little bit better as well, just like especially this knee, driving it out more. His adductors are decent, so he's keeping that gap closed. It's hard to say when you've got a decent amount of body fat in terms of like glutes. Like obviously this pose, like he's got a lot of muscle, but it doesn't look great based on the fact that he's not hitting it that well. His hips are quite close to the camera slash judges, so I'd be tilting those hips back more. Posing's going to be a big one. We posed with him, didn't we, at Premier? And like it was like you're
yeah,
making yourself look smaller. Like he was hitting the poses and he was just like shrinking. It was like he looks like a freak if he just stands still. So it's like you
yeah,
need to practice, practice, practice with posing so you don't hide yourself on stage. But yeah, I would definitely say like from this side leg just looks underdeveloped, but I think partly that is posing, and also partly the fact that his like delts, his arms are quite freaky on this, so it's like your legs just look small.
yeah. No, definitely. It'll be good to see how he looks, PL. I'm excited just because if he is in shape, he'll be very good. But at the same time, it is a case of how he looks and how things come down. Like he's one
If
of
you
those
were
sort of guys.
to
Like when we saw him for the first time. in an off season, he's just so round and bubbly.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like if he
he's
holds that,
he's
which
really
you
good.
never know, he might not.
If you were
Yeah,
to go into a prep now, how much weight do you think you'd have to pull off from here? You say he's 230 now.
yeah, loads. Like 45 pounds, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say more. It's hard to tell
Yeah.
when like
This is
EDs are
with
involved, but
this distance as well. So
yeah,
that's like, yeah, like that, like,
I'd be
in to be
saying
fair,
like
he's very much,
as a natty, maybe 60 pounds, but with the
yeah,
use of anabolics throughout a prep, maybe like 50.
yeah, he's 230 now. I'd imagine he'll dip below 200 easily. Like he'll be sub 220 within like a week or two of dieting. Like he'll have a good amount of weight to pull off. But I reckon 185 to 190 if he was peeled inside out, I think would be quite cool. But that is obviously with assistance and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah. Right, next one. Thomas G. Human.
Is this him?
Thomas G. Human. Yeah, he sent me through. He said that was all he sent through, so a rear shot. No front, no anterior, bro. Just posterior.
He's just got a race. Yeah, that's all he is. He's not a human from the front. He's only Thomas G. Human from the back.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
one pose, more poses would be ideal, mate, in future. For 1 year into training, your lats are decent. You've got a bit of muscle there. Like you definitely have built some tissue in this year. But just enjoy training, enjoy growing, eat your food, get strong, eat loads of protein, eat loads of good food, and just enjoy training. Like that's all you need to be doing at 15.
yeah. Living life, being a human, bro.
Use my checking shots, mate. Be kind, please. I'm only little.
Yeah, he is only little. 115 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, if he's closing in on that, yeah.
Yeah. This is George McKay, or George McKay,
He told me that I got it wrong in the last
you know?
podcast, and I can't remember what I said. I think it's McKay.
Yeah, I think it's McKay. I think you called him McKay. But either way, George McKay, Plan Burritos, #1 burrito maker in 2015 or whatever when he used to work there. Um, Lovely lad. Don't think he liked me when I used to go to Plan Burrito in 2015. Because he used to hang out with Braden, didn't he? And Braden didn't like us, or didn't like you. So they just didn't like it. I don't think George
Mate,
liked us. But
they
now
used
George
to be
likes
sound
us.
with
And
me.
George,
I trained with them.
oh, they're always weird. I also Braden. That's it. Braden's just a bit odd, isn't he? And I
Braden
remember
is a
George
bit.
telling me about it. So yeah, me, George, and Finn are all anti-Braden. We're anti-Braden enthusiasts. So sorry, Braden. But when it comes to me, I remember George telling me he was telling me all about it. He was like, "Oh, fuck that dude." So yeah, we're
He
with you,
just
bro.
stopped. I think he just stopped messaging Joe. He just stopped talking to him. Anyway, let's move on. We've spoken about George's his shorts.
Yeah. So
These
this is
these are
George.
these are the legacy shorts. But we need to get them tailored. I think he's getting some other ones as well, but they're still a little bit baggy. I think he's gonna. I can't remember what. Oh, he's gonna get some Vaso shorts. He said that they're supposedly like the shortest on the market. Yeah, these are legacy look. So these photos are from this week's. Yeah, the check-in just gone. Oh no, today's check-in.
Okay.
This is for tomorrow. These photos are for tomorrow. So basically,
Okay.
he's checked in today for tomorrow's feedback.
Yeah, yeah. No, when's he competing? Is he doing the first show of the year? So what next? Back in the next month,
Yeah,
or is
it's
it?
basically 6 weeks.
Yeah. No, that's good. He looks way better than I thought he did.
Good
Like
man.
when he started, prep, I thought he looked like pretty shit. Like I think he'd say the same. I think you'd say the same. But he's come down well. I weirdly enough, I think men's physique poses suit him. I still think it's one of those where like you can just tell certain areas like his lower back just doesn't look like hard or firm. Like it just looks like he's just still a bit like you know how we've spoke about like skin and like some areas just people just don't have that like tight skin or it's just looking like a little bit just
I think
not
it's
hard.
muscle. I think it's muscle mass
Yeah,
because
I
he's
mean,
not
yeah,
ever been strong at hinging. Like he's had issues in the past with sciatica.
no,
Like he's never been a strong hip hinger. His erectors aren't good. Like he knows that. It's like his back, like you say, is almost a bit empty. His lower back, but his lats are
yeah,
really
it just looks like yeah. Yeah, that's a good. Like the front shot definitely needs a lot more meat across that top line. Like if he was to run like just literally like top line training like a men's physique block for like the next like year, 2 years, like that would do him good. But like, that's not to say it's weak. It's just it's so noticeable. And the problem is when you're natty is like if you're not blessed by with like a Josh Krogan, sort of like chest and delts, which not many of us are. Like it's so noticeable when it comes to getting down and you lose a little bit of that like fat pop that you have in an off season. But I think men's physique definitely is the play for George. Lovely lad, nice lad. So it'll be good to see him on stage. And
when he first
it's cool to
started.
see him as well go through with it because we've known him for years, ever since he was telling us how much he hates Braden. And ever since then he's wanted to compete. So that's like 2 or 3 years. It's nice to actually see him go through a process of wanting to compete. So yeah, like good to see you, George, when you're on stage, mate.
It will be good. He's nailed the prep so far as well. He's been really, really good. He's been class. Okay.
And it's nice that he's positive with it. Like,
Oh mate, he's
he's
class.
happy. He seems
He's
like
got the
when he took his
exact
like,
mindset that you want.
it's nice to like when you've got someone who's just like took some good photos and they're like, oh, I look fucking
And
good,
just
and they're happy
enjoying
with
it.
how they look. It's nice.
Just enjoying it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So,
No, I think this is
Brand.
I think I'm assuming his name is Brandon. Maybe his name is Brexon. I doubt that's his actual name.
Yeah.
22, 175 pounds, 5'10". Did like 12-week diet. Gonna try get large now. Okay.
Yes.
So how old did he say he was?
Me too.
22. Okay. 22, 175 pounds, 5'10". He's got a decent amount of muscle. It's a decent physique. Similar to, what we were saying about Matthew, like if you were to do the juniors, you'd be in that sort of like decent bracket. I think he'd probably be in that mid to lower end of like the good juniors. He wouldn't be the freak juniors. He wouldn't be the ones who it's like you shouldn't really be competing yet. He'd be in that mid bracket, but probably lower end. But I don't think he's got any plans on competing. He didn't put that he did. He just said that it's time to get large. But that's a really nice front lat spread.
Hey, the front lat, like I'm not being harsh, but like your side chest and like your other shots are so much worse than that.
Yeah.
Like
To be fair,
if you had said
the
side
front
chest, I
relaxed
would
is
have.
good.
Yeah, no, the front relax is good, but like if he sent through that front lat, I'd be like, bro, you're really fucking good. The other
Yeah.
poses make you look worse. So just send us your front lat, and we'll forget who you are.
Like that
We only do this for views in game,
that doesn't do him
and
justice.
then the next time, just send you. Wow, you're great, mate. What the fuck?
The front lat is very, very nice. Waist looks really nice. You know who that reminds me of a bit? Butcher's Wet Dream. Because his head,
Mm,
like Butcher's Wet Dream's got such a small head, and because Brandon's putting his head back like this, it makes his head look small, and his physique is good. But yeah, I think from here, like again, work on posing. Again, as I've said, younger guys, hamstrings, glutes, big priority. There's no back shots here, which tells us that your back's probably not great. That's not me being harsh. That's just an assumption. We pose and show our stronger body parts. That's normal. Like you're probably not going to send the photos that you're not too happy with. So I would say work on your posterior
that's
chain.
why Finn doesn't upload any physique updates. Haven't recently for the last week or two. Post Northern Ireland.
Mate, it's like as if I've gained loads of fat after Dublin. I'm the same body weight. I don't post any back shots.
Nibble.
My back is shit. And this is literally what I've just said. Like you won't post your shots that are shit. It's like you don't post your quarter turns and JPMVMT keeps asking for them.
Yeah, mate, he keeps DMing me randomly. Hey mate, any quarter turns? Mental.
All right. So
Right,
yeah,
next one.
prioritize your hamstrings, prioritize your posterior chain, and just exactly like you said, get large, enjoy growing, enjoy eating food. Um, who's this? I recognize him. Is it Jack Eagle's client?
No, he's coached by, is it Myron Max? I forgot his name off the top
He
of my head. Let me
competed.
let
Did he
me double
compete
check.
last year?
No, he prepped last year, I think, and then I don't know if he got like 2 or 3 weeks out, and then like just bottled it. I don't know. That's harsh
He
for me to
looks
say. I
really
don't think
good,
he.
but
I don't think he.
I know who he is, but I don't know. I can't like off the top of my head. I don't know his name. So find out for us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The guy listening to this, I literally know who you are, mate. Your name's Alex Cannings. There we go. Yeah, I
There
was
you go.
originally gonna say Alex Gammons. It's not Alex Gammons. It's
Oh,
Alex
he's
Cannings. There we
way
go.
better than
Yeah,
Alex Gammons. He's way better.
yeah. Gammons is one of those like natty or not natty when he's not. Like, whoa, he's on
So what?
gear. Wait, did you not know? Did you know Alex Gammons is on gear?
I know. Who'd have thought it? So he's put
No,
22 years old,
yeah,
classic physique, 5'10" ish, 208 pounds. I can't really read that. Peak off season here. Mandatory intra
yeah,
workout Cialis pump as well. 6 weeks to go until prep starts.
yeah, yeah. He's got Cialis. He's taken Cialis. He's got a boner.
Yeah, I
We
hope
need to check
so.
his
I can't really
Yeah,
tell. I
I
don't
think he's
think
got
he
a
has.
boner.
But to be fair,
Yeah,
to say he's peak off season here and he's 6 weeks out from starting a prep, like that's a
yeah.
good starting point.
Yeah, he never gets like that fat. Like I've followed him now for like probably a year or two. I think he did men's physique if I'm not mistaken. Like
Yeah, he
I don't know
did.
if he did or he was going to.
I'm
Yeah,
sure he
yeah,
did.
yeah. I think he did men's physique as a natty, if I'm not mistaken, or
I
something.
feel like
I
he
can't
did
remember
men's
his time.
physique as a natty, and I feel like he must, yeah, he might have viewed. I'm sure he used to be coached by Jack Eagles, or there's some connection there. I'm sure there is.
I don't think he was. I don't think that was the
Has he
case.
competed against Jack Eagles?
Mm, no, I don't think. I'm scrolling on his Instagram now. I can't remember when I put him, but either way, I think he just doesn't really ever get like he doesn't really ever get too big, like he doesn't get too heavy. Like he looks good for classic as a junior, but like he's still pretty undersized. Like I know he said his arms are weak, but like he does need to grow. Like but he's been like I feel like he looks the same for the last like year, which isn't an insult because you look really good, mate. But you've always been like pretty lean. You got lean last year, and then like as a result, it's like freaking hell,
Yeah,
you could be
spend
a hell of a
time
lot bigger.
growing. His front shots are really nice.
Right, mate, I've gone on his Instagram from 2020. He literally looks like a copy of like David Lade. All his photos are in down
Yeah,
lighting.
I
Like
remember. I do recognize him on from his Instagram, but his front. I think his
he
front
did
shots look really good.
UKDFBA, did UKDFBA men's physique. Sorry, I just jumped in.
Yeah, was that the year that I
At 9
competed?
2021, no, same as I did.
Okay, I do remember him. But yeah, front shots I think look really good. Side shots and rear shots need a bit more, especially like again like the quarter turn side leg. That needs more. I think delts, chest. I know he said his arms need improving. I would agree with that, but I don't think they're as weak as maybe like hamstrings again. Even his back, like his back looks decent here, but again, like I've just said, like people won't send us the photos that they're probably not that happy with. We don't have like a
Mm.
rear double here. I know if he's doing classic, like obviously he doesn't need to worry about like a rear lat, but still, it'd be good to see them. But no, he's got a good physique,
Yeah,
very good physique. But like you say, like it's almost like his potential is very high. He now needs to
found who
go
he
and
was coached
fill
by.
it.
Found who he was coached by. The Bull, Liam Turnbull.
Oh
That's who he was
yeah, I
coached by.
remember. I remember. Yeah, is he still
Yeah,
alive?
Bull strong coach. Mate, I saw him. I think he's doing like like the business
Business
coaching or whatever.
mentor.
Like,
Yeah,
like this photo, yeah. 111K followers, freedom is a choice, move faster, and his pinned photo is him with a Range Rover, Rolls Royce, and private jet, then a Lambo, Urus, and a Murcielago or whatever, and then another Rolls Royce, and him in the background being like, so like one of those, guys that like, yeah. Liam's gone from coaching natty men's physique guys to coaching people that are pretty much just going to give him a few grand and then be bankrupt for the rest of their life.
yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. All right, move on.
Yeah.
Hi there, Reese.
Love you.
I am a just turned 17-year-old lifter with 2 years experience behind my back. With around a year of this being serious training, heavily powerlifting specific training, although I have just switched to bodybuilding in October 2023. Since then, these are some of my best shots to date, and I am sitting around 76 kilos morning weight just after coming off a 4 week injury period 2 days ago. Back into full swing of training
Four
next
week
week.
period. Not you die, not girl. Yeah, a
Would
four
love
week
to hear
period.
your feedback and any tips for me
To what? To what, bro?
I don't know, you tell me, message you.
To masturbate with? To grow?
Any tips to
To improve?
masturbate? Any tips on masturbation?
Masturbation? Right, so how old is he? 17. Yeah, he sent me through a few other shots, but I thought like the front, he sent me through like a side chest, which looks all right, but I thought I'd just send through the front double and rear double. 17, got an okay foundation. Like it's good that he's got a good amount of like strength training prior, because I always find the people that have that foundation of strength, it correlates nicely when it goes into bodybuilding, and you can just drive your volume up and you'll grow pretty well. But when it comes to like if we're saying like hear your feedback or tips, like the tips are you're 17. Literally spend as long as you physically can in a surplus, enjoying training, like similar to what Finn said to the other guy not too long ago, and just literally cracking on, driving body weight up slowly, getting strength up, but like obviously within bodybuilding orientated volume and training. And before you know it, you're probably 18, 19. You'll be really good. If you're ready to compete, you potentially could be. I think with another 2 years of training, you could be ready as a late teen, or you could be a fucking wicked junior and give yourself plenty of time. But
Yeah,
again, like I'd look at it, like enjoy the process. There's no like you're not in a position where you're like, oh my god, you need to bring X up or Y up. You just need more muscle everywhere. Like your chest in this front double bicep, obviously it's a front double, but your chest could be better. Your arms look good, but they could be better. Your back could be better. Your hamstring, everything needs to be better. So just slap tissue on evenly. Probably run like a split that just does everything twice a week, because you probably will have maybe some natural imbalances from just powerlifting training already. So like a push pull legs, rest double R rest. I actually have a training plan in my bio. Buy it. Use that 30 quid. But that's the split that we're running, me and Finn are running, and you will get a lot of growth out of that, or something like literally an upper lower at this point, or just like a push pull legs with a rest day either side lower rotation, and just eating a surplus, crack on, grow some muscle.
Very simple. Yeah. Just I think like most people at this age, like 17, you're probably thinking like if you're liking bodybuilding and enjoying bodybuilding style training and you follow bodybuilding, you're probably thinking like, oh, I want to compete as a teen. I think unless you're, let's say, like really, really good and like genetically elite, I would just wait. Like I don't think you need to compete as a teen, and unless you're somebody who, like, say, is almost like bound to be successful within the sport. Like if you absolutely love it and you want to compete, absolutely fine. But I think you're on that kind of cusp where it's like you're good, but if you try and compete at 18 or 19, you're probably just wasting like some really productive years. Yeah, you're not wasting a whole year, but you're probably wasting a good few months, the back end of a prep and the sort of start of an off season, maybe 2, 3 months where you're probably not going to be in a great spot to grow. So I would just enjoy getting bigger, getting stronger, spend a long time in off season, maybe look at competing at 21, 22 last year as a junior, and you could be very, very good by then. It's like 5 years
Yeah.
from now.
Right. Last one is this guy.
No, we'll
The
wrap
next
it
one's
up.
gone.
Well, because we've got loads more. So we'll wrap it up here because it's 1:30, and obviously you need to get
Yeah.
going. I need to get on. So we'll wrap it up here. And then we've got quite a lot more. So thank you for everybody who has sent them through. We'll record another episode over the next week and we'll get through some others. And we'll keep these coming. We'll probably do, one every week or two.
Yeah, if we don't have a show review, we'll probably do it, and then if we do have a show review, then we'll probably just do it intermittently whenever we get time.
Cool.
Cool. Right, that's that, guys. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed. If you like these sort of videos, let us know. As I've not copied anybody, you guys are the pretty much the hosts. Like, you guys tell us what content you like to see, and like whenever we put question boxes up, is anything that you guys feel like we can be doing differently? Let us know. We're always open to suggestions and stuff like that. Obviously next week we'll be back in the studio, I'd like to imagine, so that'll be like a sit down, usual sort of once you're in. But we'll have a show review coming out in a few days from now, which will be exciting for the weekend. So hopefully that goes well. And yeah, subscribe, like, comment. Mate, you've seen the subscribers now. We're on like 775, 780, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll have 800 in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I
Go to
reckon
1,000 if you've
1,000
not
by.
already. Click it now if you're not already subscribed.
I reckon, mate, I reckon we'll be on 1,000 by like back end of next month. End of May, I reckon we'll probably hit 1,000. I think
I
that
reckon
will
we can
be.
hit 1,000 by the start of the natty shows.
Yeah, so 25th of May. Yeah, so we've got, right, that's a good goal. 1,000 subs, guys. Subscribe, share, go onto your mum's account, subscribe on hers. Support us, please. Right, that'll be that. We'll see you later, guys. Bye bye.